2011 ends, we're taking a look back at some of the most notable events of the last 12 months in the Barclays Premier League. It was a year that began with the end for Roy Hodgson as Liverpool boss, sacked as manager after a 6-month spell in charge. He presided over just 7 wins in the club's first 20 league matches of last season. New owner John W. Henry had seen enough, and 2 months into his tenure of the Anfield club, appointed Kenny Dalglish to steer the Reds' course and future. One of the first decisions taken by Dalglish on the club, selling Fernando Torres to Chelsea for a British record £50 million transfer fee, money the club immediately reinvested in strikers Andy Carroll and Luis Suarez. The ship was steadied, Liverpool finished 6th. Torres struggled to adapt at Chelsea, a difficult transition typified by his first meeting with his former club. The £50 million man could only watch from the bench as his former club stole the points. February saw an absolute thriller at St James's Park, one of the greatest Premier League comebacks of all time, when Newcastle played host to Arsenal. 4-0 down at half-time, many Geordie fans were already heading for the nearest exit. But a 68th minute penalty from Joey Barton began the fight back. Leon Best grabbed a second before Barton struck again from the spot. And the comeback was complete when Cheick Tiote's blistering strike found the bottom corner of Szczesny's net. It was a game that epitomised Arsenal's disappointing end to the season, as they threw away points from winning positions time and time again. Their title challenge was gone. Arsenal ended the season with a whimper, and worse news for supporters was to follow. Club captain Cesc Fabregas had played his last game too. He joined boyhood club Barcelona. The final day of the season also saw the end of Carlo Ancelotti's spell as manager of Chelsea. After starting the season strongly, Chelsea found their title defence derailed by a poor run of results around the turn of the year, slipping from 1st to 5th after recording just 1 win in 9. The team rallied in the spring and Ancelotti would be twice named Premier League Manager of the Month in 2011, but it wasn't enough to save his job, and all hope of retaining the Premier League trophy faded after defeat to Manchester United in May. He became the 5th managerial casualty of the Abramovich era. May 2011 also saw one of the most dramatic final days in Premier League history at the opposite end of the table, as 5 teams vied to avoid dropping out of England's top division. West Ham United's fate had been sealed the previous week after their defeat to Wigan in their penultimate game, following a remarkable Latics comeback and Hammers collapse, leaving Birmingham, Wolves, Blackburn, Blackpool and Wigan to scrap it out on the final day in May. Wins for Wigan and Blackburn ensure their survival, whilst the late Stephen Hunt goal saved Wolves and condemned Birmingham on goal difference before a Spurs winner sealed their fate. Blackpool briefly threatened to spoil Manchester United's final day celebrations, but Ian Holloway's men eventually went down to the champions-elect. The Tangerines were relegated after beginning 2011 in 8th position. Whilst the relegated sides licked their wounds, Manchester United celebrated a record 19th English League title. The 12th Premier League crown for Sir Alex Ferguson's team, achieved in no small part because of their propensity for late goals over the course of the season. Points rescued in the dying minutes of games that came to define United's season. Not forgetting Wayne Rooney's 78th minute winner against City in February, a goal that deserved to win any game. So United deposed Chelsea as champions, and the Blues began the new season with a new manager. Andre Villas-Boas appointed at the age of just 33 and charged with taking Chelsea forward. Many questions remain, however. Will he be given time to rebuild? Can he satisfy his impatient owner? Will Chelsea's player power rear its head once again? And just what will become of the striker formerly known as Fernando Torres? It's been a start not without its problems to date. Defeats to Man United, Arsenal and Liverpool in Chelsea's first dozen games of the season have already left them adrift of the surging Manchester sides. What 2012 will bring is anyone's guess. The new season also saw some other new faces in the Premier League. Queen's Park Rangers and Norwich City had been there before, but Swansea made history when they became the first Welsh club to feature in the competition. All three promoted teams have made bright starts and end the year in positions of relative safety, but can they avoid the New Year syndrome that tripped up Blackpool and secure Premier League football for their fans throughout 2012? August 2011 saw the first visit of one of the traditional Big Four to Old Trafford as Manchester United played host to Arsenal. No one saw this one coming in the first two remarkable games at United's home at the beginning of the current season. United were simply unstoppable and ran riot over their North London rivals, putting 8 goals past Arsenal and ensuring the Gunners' heaviest defeat since 1896. Danny Welbeck opened the scoring before goals from young Nanny Park, and a Wayne Rooney hat-trick sealed a nightmare day for Wenger. A devastating blow for Arsenal and a stunning victory for Ferguson, but a result that would pale into insignificance when compared to what happened here less than 2 months later. Mancini City arrived at Old Trafford unbeaten in 8 and 2 points clear of United at the top of the Premier League. Before they left, that would be 5, and they had delivered a statement of intent that would leave Ferguson and United reeling. The explosive Mario Balotelli opened the scoring for the noisy neighbours, but it must have been Ferguson left thinking, why me, when Silva, Aguero and Edin Dzeko completed the rout. A stunning win for City and United's heaviest defeat in the Premier League era. First time they had conceded 6 in a top-flight home match for 81 years. Mancini was jubilant, Ferguson crestfallen. But for once it seemed a fall came before pride for United's manager. 2 weeks later, before his 1,409th game in charge, he was honoured for his 25 years at the club when the ground's North Stand was renamed in his honour. The result from Old Trafford had clearly demonstrated the growing influence of Manchester City on the Premier League. Backed by petroleum riches, City have continued to amass a wealth of talent in their playing squad, buying and discarding players at an extraordinary rate. And it's an investment that's paying off. City have begun the current season in record fashion, destroying almost all put before them, breaking club records for points acquired and domestic records for goals scored. But can they sustain that incredible start? Halfway through the season and at the start of 2012, we'll just have to wait and see.